Lots to go over today. Let's start local, then go national. Let's start with the State Central Committee. Their meeting, the State Central Committee meeting of the Republicans, is set for Saturday. And at this meeting, they will determine whether there will be a primary or a convention to nominate the state candidates, governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general in Virginia for the Republican Party in 2017. Now, a deal was made the last year was that there would be a primary to determine the delegate allegation in the presidential race, and then there was an understanding, a handshake deal made that the state 17 would go to a convention. However, State Central has changed. The makeup of it has changed, and the primary people have a clear majority. There's no question about that. This meeting is on Saturday. I'm going to try to get my 3 representatives on in the 4th District this week to find out what their feelings are. But here's my take, and I'm going to spend a couple minutes on this. We got a lot of things to talk about, Clinton emails and everything else, so hang in there with me. But this is an important issue. If the State Central goes back on their word, the deal was made. It doesn't matter what changed over. Deal is a deal. Your word is your bond. If the new makeup of the State Central Committee, by the way, which includes Nancy Dye in Roanoke now, who ran for state senate, and if they overturn the deal and go with a primary, it doesn't matter what you're for or what you think is the right thing to do. A deal was made. This will create all-out civil war in the Republican Party right 60 days before a presidential election in a state where Clinton is way ahead, where there's no way that Trump can win without everybody coming together in the final 60 days. This would be a colossal catastrophe for America. Because if there's any chance of winning Virginia, it's gone if State Central votes for a primary and overturns the deal that was made 12 months ago. Because everybody is going to be mad at everybody. You cannot go back on this deal. If you want to get a feel for this, go to the Bull Elephant. There's a piece up today by Stephen Brody Tucker, who is pro-primary, basically saying that you got to have a convention. You've got to stick with your word. Coupled with the fact that most of these candidates running around for lieutenant governor, attorney general, and governor have basically set their campaigns up for the most part for a convention, because that's what they expected. Secondly, if they overturn the convention, and that's what it is, overturning it, and they vote for a primary, this favors Ed Gillespie. Everybody's going to think that Gillespie engineered this. I don't know if he did or he didn't. Maybe, I don't think he can win a convention, but he needs to stay out of it. But the bottom line is this would be a disaster for the Republican Party of Virginia. And I call right now on Chairman John Whitbeck to take a stand here. Whitbeck has got to take a stand as the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. He's got to take a stand and say what he's for and articulate it in clear terms. Win. Back, take a stand. Don't be recusing yourself and only voting in the event of a tie and that nonsense. You are the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. John Whitbeck, you know deep down, if this vote goes for a primary, it is going to tear the soul out of what remains of this party in Virginia. Take a stand. Show leadership. Voting this convention out and reneging on the deal and then throwing your arms up and saying, well, it doesn't matter, I wasn't there when the deal was made, is just like what Cuccinelli did to bowling in 2009. I'm sorry, in 2013. Same thing. How'd that work out? The party has not recovered from that. We don't have a statewide office. We have been wiped out. Why would you do this? How stupid and myopic is this? Well, it's going to help Gillespie win. Who cares? That's 2017. You've got an election in 2016. Whitbeck is the key here. Win or lose, John needs to stand up and show leadership. All right, here's a text here from Corey in Southwest Virginia who says, Corey, I got to put my code in and all that. Let me see. Corey says, A previous body can't bind a future body. You know what, Corey? That's not the point. See, that's what they're going to say. A deal was made by somebody else. A deal's a deal. I don't care who's there. You made a deal. You got to stick with the deal. Corey goes on to say it was not their place to make a deal, just like when they tried to vote on the 213 nominating method before the new SEC body was seated. You can only make a deal with the people that are there, dude. And this deal was made, and I'm not pro-convention or pro-primary. I mean, if I had to make a choice, look, I preferred the presidential primary. I thought a presidential convention would have been ridiculous, but 1 million people turned out. Now we got 1 million names that Republicans have that you didn't have. So I'm not making the case for a convention or a primary. I'm making the case for avoiding a bloodbath, because that's what this is going to be. It's going to be a bloodbath. And so why would you go down this path 60 days before one of the most critical elections in America's history, where Virginia is still potentially in play if the Republicans here can get the resources they need to be competitive? Why would you chop the head off of the party? Why would you? Who would do that? This makes no sense. Why? So it can help Ed Gillespie? Who the hell cares? Let me tell you something. If Ed Gillespie is governor or not governor, is that going to affect the future of the republic? The hell cares who's governor? I mean, give me a break. And if Gillespie is so great, then go win a convention. Who cares? That's my take on this. At some point in your life, you have got to take a damn stand. John Whitbeck needs to take a stand this week and say a deal was made, but he's not. He'll recuse himself. What kind of leadership is that, John? Unbelievable. We'll see what plays out. I don't know what John is going to do. I'm not criticizing him. I'm not criticizing the Republican Party. I'm saying you've got to go with the deal. And Whitbeck should show the leadership. He's the only guy that can do this. No one else can do this. And if Ed is so great, walk into Richmond or Charlottesville or wherever this is, Ed, and win the convention.